Unlocking Lina's voice. Lina had always been fascinated by the sound of English. Whenever she heard tourists speaking it in the market near her small town, she felt a strange mixture of admiration and longing. The rhythm of the language, the smooth flow of sentences, and the confidence with which people spoke it made her feel as if English was a magical code that opened invisible doors. Yet, despite her fascination, Lina struggled terribly. The letters looked confusing, the pronunciation seemed unpredictable, and the meanings slipped out of her mind as soon as she learned them. She often sat in front of her notebook for hours, copying words again and again, only to forget them moments later. Her frustration grew until learning itself felt like a mountain too steep to climb. One afternoon, after a particularly discouraging study session, Lina walked to the park to clear her thoughts. The air was cool, and the trees rustled softly, but her mind felt heavy. She wondered if she was simply not intelligent enough to learn English. Many people around her spoke so fluently. Children younger than her recited sentences effortlessly. She felt inadequate, as if there were something fundamentally wrong with her ability to understand. She sat on a bench, clasping her hands together, feeling the familiar sting of defeat rising inside her. Just then, she heard someone call her name. It was Myra, her childhood friend, cheerful, curious, and always full of hope. Myra sat beside her and immediately noticed Lina's gloomy expression. "You look like you're carrying the whole world on your shoulders," she said gently. Lina sighed and confessed her worries, the confusion, the embarrassment, the fear that she would never be able to learn English no matter how hard she tried. Myra listened silently, her face thoughtful and calm. Then, without a word, she reached into her bag and pulled out a thick book. Its cover was dark blue and decorated with golden letters, "Essential English Mastery for Beginners." Lina stared at it, surprised. Myra explained that she had bought this book months ago, thinking it might help someone who needed it more than she did. She placed the book in Lina's hands and said, "This won't magically teach you everything. But it will guide you, step by step. You don't need to understand everything at once. You only need to begin." Her voice carried such sincerity that Lina felt her heart soften. She held the book tightly, as if she were holding a key to a gate she had been afraid to open. That night, Lina sat at her desk with the book in front of her. She opened it slowly, expecting the usual chaos of incomprehensible words. But to her surprise, the explanations were clear, the examples simple, and the exercises well structured. For the first time, English did not seem like a monstrous labyrinth. It was still challenging, still unfamiliar, but no longer frightening. She completed the first page, then the second, then the third. Hours passed without her noticing. Each sentence she read felt like a small victory, each word she learned like another brick placed into the foundation of her confidence. Days turned into weeks, and Lina continued reading the book diligently. She woke up early to study, carried the book in her bag, and repeated words silently as she walked to school. Some lessons were easy, others terribly difficult, but the fear inside her had changed. Instead of running away from confusion, she confronted it. Instead of doubting her abilities, she tested them. She no longer studied for perfection, she studied for progress, however small. Slowly, her pronunciation improved, she learned to form sentences, she even practiced speaking in front of her mirror. Piece by piece, English began to feel less like a foreign barrier and more like a companion she was getting to know. One afternoon, while reading in the library, Lina experienced something extraordinary. She came across a paragraph written fully in English. Normally, she would have panicked, flipping through dictionaries to decode every word. But this time, she read it quietly and understood nearly all of it. Her heartbeat quickened, her eyes widened, and an overwhelming sense of pride washed over her. She reread the paragraph again and again, unable to believe that she had understood it. It felt like stepping into a new world, a world she had once believed she could never enter. As months passed, Lina's fluency grew stronger. She watched English movies with subtitles, listened to songs, and started writing short diary entries in English. Her teachers noticed her improvement and praised her dedication. Her classmates often asked her for help, which filled her with a sense of accomplishment she had never felt before. She no longer feared English, she embraced it. 1 year later, Lina met Myra again in the same park. This time, Lina was the one smiling. She handed Myra a small note and asked her to read it. Written in elegant English handwriting were the words, "Thank you for giving me the courage to begin." This language changed not only my skills but my entire confidence. Myra hugged her tightly, proud and joyful. Lina realized that her success did not come from talent or luck. It came from perseverance, patience, and the willingness to begin despite the fear of failure. The English book was not just paper and ink, it was the spark that awakened her determination. And because of that, Lina stepped into a future where her voice was stronger, clearer, and full of possibility.